This little girl is Rachel, because she saw horrible things that she needed to be hospitalized for treatment. But when she opened her eyes, her surroundings were strange. Rachel remembers her parents wanting to find them. Rachel opens the door to the outside, but this isn't a hospital. There was a line at the end of the hallway. Rachel ran to read and then entered a nearby room. The working fax machine startled Rachel. He asked Rachel a lot. Rachel even didn't understand and answered all of them. The elevator opened for Rachel. But as soon as she entered the elevator, it was announced that she was chosen as a sacrifice. When Rachel went upstairs, the elevator stopped. This is the play area of the psycho killer. Scared as she walked, Rachel looked around. She discovered a bird was injured. Before she could help it, the psychopath appeared to kill the bird. He gave her 3 seconds to run. Rachel ran to a nearby room to find a place to hide. The murderer who entered the room did not find her and left. Rachel waited for the noise to stop before coming out. As soon as she got to the elevator, she was discovered by the killer. Rachel got in quickly and went upstairs. Luckily she made it in time. Upstairs is the hospital, but it's too dark. Rachel sensed someone approaching. She ran away, but that person chased after her. It was the Dr. Danny who treated her psychologically. Rachel was afraid to tell the doctor what she had just seen. He encourages Rachel, the killer can't come here, they have to find a way out. The doctor led Rachel to a room, where there was a message written on the wall. It refers to the desires of each person accompanied by the law. Rachel did not understand, but the doctor explained, his desire is to have beautiful bright eyes like Rachel. He led Rachel to the operating room and stroked her. He had longed for these eyes, but Rachel was in a state of fear that made them worse. So the doctor has something Rachel needs help with. I'll look in this room and Rachel in the back room. Rachel walks in, it's all fake eyes in here. The doctor ran in to tell the story of the old days. He had met Rachel and she had the prettiest eyes he was looking for. This guy needs to reattach his eyes, so he kicked Rachel out. Rachel knew she had to hide, but he closed the door. The doctor came out and wouldn't let her leave. He pressed her to get her eyes. Rachel begged fearfully. The doctor laughed and soon she would be back with her parents because they were in hell now. Rachel sounded like lightning in her ears. She lay still and did not respond. The doctor shouted this is what he wanted. Rachel's eyes were so beautiful now. Suddenly he vomited blood. The killer with the scythe downstairs came up here looking for Rachel. He gave her another chance to run. This guy didn't want to kill the doll, so he left. It's against the law that he's the one downstairs killing people upstairs. Now he's like Rachel, going to be the scapegoat. Rachel ran after him begging him to kill her. Episode 2, the angry killer points his scythe at her. Rachel still approached to offer the exchange price. If she could open this elevator door, he would give her satisfaction. The unbelieving killer held the girl's head down. Rachel left to find a way to open the elevator door, and the killer just walked back and forth waiting. Rachel returned to the dead perverted doctor's room. She found the elevator key on him. Then Rachel went back to open the elevator door for the killer. By now this guy knew that if he wanted to get out of here he would need Rachel's help. He introduced himself as Zach. If Rachel could get him out of here, he'd do what she wished. Both of them took the elevator to the next floor. Go to the next floor. This place is not much different from Zach's floor when it is also dark, except that there are many graves. Rachel and Zach scout around. Rachel discovers a new grave has been made and her name is engraved on it. Next to it is another grave that must be Zach's. It's unfinished. Zach was furious when he let someone else decide his death like that. He was about to smash the grave when Rachel stopped him. If you do, your scythe will break. Rachel discovers a hole in the front. She wanted to get out of here quickly, so the idea was to split up and search with Zach. Rachel will go deep inside and search. Rachel reached a room. She found a letter on the desk written for Rachel. At the same time, Zach was still angry about the fact that he was not dead and was buried. He still remembered Rachel's words, not taking the scythe, but taking the hoe beside him. Zach then smashes everywhere, accidentally activating the door switch to the secret room. The girl curiously entered. This place contained all the documents of the sacrifices from information to how they died. Of course there's Rachel and Zach as well. Zach has already smashed all the graves and only Rachel's remains. He was about to break it, but Rachel told him not to break it. Rachel brought the documents back. Zach's real name is Isaac, is a serial killer, but Rachel is not afraid at all. Zach recalled that there was a guy like that before. In the past, while going to kill people, Zach met a girl. Instead of being afraid of her, she was a fan of Zach. But Zach discovers she only lied to stay alive. Of course, Zach directly killed her. After Zack finished, Rachel repeated her wish to die. Zack turns to smash Rachel's grave. When will he allow her to die? Zack reached the elevator door. It didn't have an open switch. He urged Rachel to find it. Rachel pointed Zack into the water to look. At first Zack refused, but to escape, he had to do it. Rachel also split up to look for her. Just as he left, Zack met the killer of this floor. Episode 3. The owner of this floor was furious when Zack dared to destroy all the tombs he had so painstakingly built. He introduced himself as Eddie. His goal is to bury Rachel in the most perfect grave possible. Zack didn't care to rush up to hit this guy, turned around and he was gone. Eddie's name appeared behind Rachel. He also introduced, but he won't kill Rachel too. Unlike Zack, the killer who only knows how to die, he considers himself an aesthetic person. He will let Rachel die the way she wants. Rachel was very hesitant to hear that. If she died, how could Zack get out of here? Zack now panicked and ran to find Rachel. He had found her but was on the other side of the wall. Eddie calmly asked Rachel again. Eddie knelt down and begged Rachel to choose him as the one to end her life over that unappealing name. Zack stood on the other side of the wall hearing everything. He tried to advise Rachel. Of their promise he swore to God that only he could kill Rachel. Rachel understood and reminded Zack, if so, come and break down the wall with me. Zack sneered and acted immediately with just one broken wall. Eddie is running away now. Zack angrily scolds Rachel. If she doesn't want to die in vain, then she should be a little more useful. Rachel approaches Zack and repeats the promise Zack himself made to God. Zack angrily punches the wall, declaring that he hates liars, so no need to worry. The two continued to find a way out, just in time to meet Eddie again. He still didn't understand why Rachel didn't choose him. He wanted Rachel to think again, but Rachel's answer was still Zack. He got angry and tried to kill Rachel. Zack and him fight, but the feeling is not going anywhere. He decided to play his trump card. He turned off the lights. Zack couldn't see anything, swinging his scythe around. He turned to remind Rachel to turn on the light. Surely the switch was just somewhere around this area. While searching, she discovered a pre-dug grave covered with beautiful flowers. Eddie appears to hit her in the stomach. Rachel falls to the grave. He promises her that he will build Rachel a better grave than the one Zack destroyed. Eddie picked up the shovel and Rachel pointed a flashlight at her face. She rushed to push Eddie to the grave, then Rachel turned on the lights in the area. Just waiting for that, Zack rushes in to finish Eddie. Before he died, Eddie told Rachel why he did it, simply because he loved her. Everything around was so quiet. Zack urges Rachel to find the elevator. She presses lightly with the remote and the secret passage appears. Both of them went upstairs. Only then did Rachel ask Zack if he was useful. Zack sneered and complimented her on trying to get to the next floor, and when she escaped, he would grant her death. Episode 4. Zack gets angry and doesn't understand why the elevator doesn't go straight to the top floor, but rather every floor like this. They had reached the next floor, but this one wasn't easy. In front of them was a locked iron bar. Zack prompts Rachel to come up and see how to unlock it. Rachel looked over. She couldn't open it. Zack got mad. He used his scythe to hit the door and immediately raised the alarm. The machine gun appeared to fire continuously. Zack reacted and pulled Rachel to hide. At this moment, a voice called out. She claimed to be the judge of this floor. She's been waiting for Zack for a long time. This is where he will receive his punishment. Zack didn't care. He ordered her to open the door immediately. Zack and Rachel went deeper inside. Rachel could not open the door to the room. Zack wondered to the judge. She shows Zack and Rachel how to open the door. There's a camera with a name tag there. They have to take pictures like prisoners before they can move on. Zack and Rachel entered the dark hallway. It's full of doodles, and the judge tells Zack that these are the ways to execute them. She lets Zack choose his own way of dying. Zack doesn't care if he gets out of here. Zack pulls Rachel away. Go to the next room where this is full of dolls. The door is also locked. Rachel can't find any organs. Zack was about to destroy all the dolls here, but Rachel stopped him. Zack saw a chair and immediately ran up to sit on it. It was an electric execution chair, and Zack was immediately locked. The TV showed the judge appearing in front of them. She introduces herself as Kathy, who will host Zack's execution show. The first electric shock came. Zack cried out in pain, but he was still alive. He vowed to kill her when he got out of here. The Kathy didn't intend to kill her either. She would release Zack if Rachel solved the puzzle. However, during that time, the electricity will shock continuously. The dolls move, they are the audience, and their gaze determines Zack's punishment. The puzzle begins to electrocute Zack repeatedly. He chased Rachel away to solve the puzzle quickly. Rachel drags his scythe and destroys all the newly released Zack dolls. Kathy let them go to the next door. Zack and Rachel went to the next room. It has a danger sign outside, but Zack still rushes in. The door immediately locked them. Kathy appeared to explain the rules of the room. This room is closed with very thick reinforcement. It will continuously release toxic gas until they stop breathing. During this time they must find a way out. She left them a gas mask. The puzzle begins. Zack gives Rachel the mask. If she dies he will be in trouble. Rachel went to find a way to solve her when she saw the text. Reading through it seemed to have to weigh the crime. Rachel did, but to no avail. Kathy observed them breathing with joy. Episode 5. Rachel couldn't breathe and collapsed on the floor. She was about to let go when Zack stopped her. Rachel regained her spirit to continue the search. She discovered that there was a ventilation hole in the ceiling. Zack picked Rachel up and threw them straight up. She found the card that opened the door. However, when she hit the ground, there was nothing Rachel could do. Zack went to open the door himself and he broke the card. Kathy burst out laughing. Playtime is over and she starts spraying other toxic gases into the room. Rachel tried to get up. She had a way out, but it wasn't safe. Zack didn't care to urge Rachel. Rachel knew the gas was explosive, so she brought out the device to cause the room to explode immediately. Zack excitedly led Rachel protruding outside. Kathy was also impressed with the way she handled it. Zack and Rachel go on, but Rachel goes too slow, making Zack mad. Rachel needs a break. Zack agrees. They find a hidden camera corner for Rachel to rest. Her face turned pale, and Zack was also starting to feel drunk. He took a short nap, and in his dream Zack recalled the scene of his childhood. Since he was just a boy, he had to bury the bodies of children his age. Rachel wakes Zack up. If it's alright then they have to move on. Along the way, Kathy kept pumping them. Zack didn't care immediately and went to the next room. Here Kathy assigns them roles. One will be the worker and the other will be the instructor. Rachel took her place and started to solve the puzzle Kathy gave her. Although it was very difficult, Rachel still managed to do it. Zack just needs to put the doll where Rachel asks. Zack started to shake in anger and was about to smash it when Rachel stopped him. Zack is so mad that this scene is exactly the same as what he had to endure as a child. Finally done, Kathy began to mock Zack. You are just a tool for others to use. Zack got mad and smashed this crappy model. The door to the next room was open, and Zack didn't listen to what Rachel had to say and went straight ahead. This time Kathy herself was going to meet them face to face. On the table there are 2 syringes, one is poison and one is normal. If they pump it all up, the door will open. As Kathy leaves, Rachel picks up 2 vials of medicine. She was about to pump it all into Zack's body when he grabbed her by the neck. As Kathy said, both are tools, but only this time Zack will be tools for Rachel. He pumped all the medicine into his body and the door opened immediately. Rachel rushed to Zack's side. Zack at this time due to the effect of the drug made him go crazy and grabbed Rachel's neck to kill. Rachel reminds Zack that he swore to God he would kill her once he got out of here. Zack was calmer as he recalled. He hated lies. He begged Rachel not to make me kill her here. Episode 6. A small flashback of Zack when he completed the mission to bury the other body. Zack came back to watch the movie again. At this time, there is a scene where a man and a woman are killed by a murderer. His satisfied smile also inspires Zack to take the knife to the couple's room. Zack gave a satisfied smile. Back to reality, Zack hugged Rachel in his arms, begging her not to let him kill now and pushed Rachel. And I try to control my crazy nature. But in the end, still unsuccessful, Zack took the scythe to chase Rachel. She ran to the nearby room, which was also the last room they needed to get through. Zack had chased to where Rachel was about to catch when Zack was shot. Kathy shows up and explains that this will be the shooting room for the 2 of them. Around them are installed 6 barrels, just need Kathy press the button, both will die instantly. Zack was wounded in one hand and still aggressively pulled his scythe and ran to cut Kathy but was stopped by the glass. To make the game more dramatic, Kathy left Rachel with a gun. If Rachel kills Zack with this gun, she will let her live. Zack got up and pointed his scythe at Rachel, shooting faster before he couldn't hold back any longer. Rachel didn't do that because they weren't Kathy's tools. Zack couldn't stand his rampage anymore. At least before I kill him I want Rachel to laugh. Rachel did as Zack said, but Zack knew it was a fake smile. He imagined killing Rachel and then stabbing himself to keep their promise. Kathy got mad and ran out of the safe and slapped Rachel. She piloted the machine gun to where Rachel was about to kill her, when she found out that Zack was still alive, much to her delight. "She will kill you first." Rachel pointed the gun at her. She raised her leg to crush Zack's face when Rachel pulled out a gun with live ammunition and fired one shot, causing her to vomit blood. The angry Kathy was about to flip the switch to fire 6 rounds when Zack jumped up and cut off the control arm. Kathy didn't understand what was going on. Zack took another hit and she still didn't die trying to crawl to the 6-barreled control arm. She activates but hits no one. Rachel ran over to see Zack's injuries. He didn't bother her. Rachel activated the elevator search door. There's a school assignment for Rachel to stay and read while Zack urges her to hurry. They went back to the hallway just now, and it turned out that the elevator was right where they took the picture. Rachel searched for an hour and couldn't find any switch to start it. Zack kept urging her to hurry. Rachel remembered the text before she had to give her name before she could move on. Rachel took Zack's name tag they took a picture of and stuffed it into a hole nearby. The elevator opened and they continued to go to the next floor.